Hello everybody, ciao a tutti and welcome to Art with Ms.B. This is our second video of 2024, and as I told you in the first video and in the announcement, I decided to give something to this community that we are building together. For the whole month of January and February, we're gonna have one practice per week that is of course based on art elements. So we will review together lines, organic and geometric shapes, patterns, optical illusion and implied texture, the quality of this line, and we're going to play around with a variety of media such as watercolor, colored pencil, markers, and just pencil, but it's mostly focused on the mindful experience that we're going to get through these practices. Remember that in mindful experience, the focus is on the process and not on the final product. And in today's practice, as well as other previous and future practice, remember, you do not have to copy exactly what I do on the paper. For today, for example, when I will move my hands on the paper, you can move your hands on the paper in different directions and you will have a different type of line, therefore different type of design, which is your design, and it's totally fine. I always encourage you, as much as I encourage my students, after we understood the steps, the technique required, the media, and everything that is involved in the project, I want them to personalize it, to connect to their own life experience, to their own persona, to their own creativity. And I invite you to do the same. You follow my lead and you follow my steps, but then you trust yourself. Trust in yourself, it is the quote that we are going to work today. It's a positive affirmation. I told you that we are going to have one positive affirmation each practice. Last week was I love myself, a very dear affirmation that I wanted to use to start this 2024 in the right way. And today the affirmation that we're going to work and discuss through the practice is I trust myself. This is why for today's practice we are going to use like a small piece of mixed media paper. Of course, you can decide your size, so you do you. I'm gonna do small, so I have enough time to do the whole practice with you without making the video too long. We're gonna use a pencil for drawing, and then a cup with water, a brush, and watercolors. You don't have to add the same palette with so many colors. You have any watercolors that you have available, you use it. Why do we use this? Because when we use watercolor, we need to trust ourselves, and we need to also trust to let it go a little bit. With watercolor, we always have the element of surprise. Of course, we can control the amount of water, which is a beautiful exercise if you want more like a blended color, and if you want to like a very more non-objective abstract on the paper, you would use more water. If you want to control the media a little more, you have to use a little less water. However, mostly if you are a beginner and when you learn, there is always an element of surprise. So you never know, you're never 100% sure about how that color, the hue, will show on your paper. And what will happen if sometimes the two colors will touch and mix together. And I wanted to embrace it and let it go. Even if the result at the end is not exactly what you envision in your mind at the beginning, I want you to trust it. I want you to really trust the process, trust your hand, trust your creativity, trust your mind, and trust also the watercolor, which is something that we cannot 100% control, which is something beautiful. So I'm going to switch the camera, pause the video, have your materials ready, and remember, good posture, comfortable seat. We work on breathing in and out from the nose in a way that is natural but also deep, and we focus on that. So we want to make sure that we listen to ourself breathing in and out. You can have a little music as a background, or you can just do the practice in silent, follow with my lead and follow with my words. If you're using music, don't use music that can distract you, because the focus is all on the paper and all in our mind, in trusting ourselves. So this is our piece of paper, and it doesn't really matter the direction. You can place it like this, or you can place it like this. If you have a bigger paper, your design is gonna just be bigger. Now I want you with the pencil to just point the pencil on a corner of this paper, and we're gonna move the pencil very slowly without any plan You trust your hand and you will kind of create a very long, smooth, round line. Pretend that if you're a kid, pretend that you're tracing a snake or a worm, and you want the snake to really cross itself, create loops and circle, and then we see what kind of design we have. Let's start. So we're gonna point the pencil and then we're gonna move our hand around. Have fun with the line that you're tracing, make it interlace. Breathe and go with the flow. And close it. Nice. This is the design that came up to me. Maybe yours is gonna look completely different, and it is perfectly fine. I'm going to start the painting, and for the color, you do you don't have to copy my color palette, and you can really use the color that makes you feel better. You can very good, maybe excited, or maybe you're gonna use the colors that they calm you down. I particularly today probably want to use a very warm colors. Outside it is very white and snowing and cold, so I need something that kind of brings energy to me, and I will use a very bright and warm colors. But if you are instead in need of calm and quiet, maybe you can use cold colors such as blue and green. So you're gonna calm yourself down and you're gonna have like a different type of feelings compared to mine when you finish to color the design. Or you can just use your favorite colors. You can repeat the color more than once. I suggest you to place it, in a different area of the design and not next to each other to create a better variety and something that is going to be very fun to paint, because remember that the focus is basically on the uh, process, but it will also be very nice and beautiful to look at when you finish, when you're done. So we repeat: I trust myself. I trust myself as artist. I trust myself in creating a design that I didn't plan and I couldn't and I cannot control, but I trust myself in making the right choice for this design. I trust myself in finding a way to blend the water with the watercolors in a way that I will have the colors that I want. And if something goes differently and some of my color bleeds into the others, or I cover part of the design, I trust myself in embracing the accident, if we want to call it like that, and keep working on this project until it's all done. So I trust myself to handle frustration. I trust myself to embrace the unexpected. And this is something that, for example, for me, it is like a challenge to work, because I tend to, like many other people that I know, but I tend to organize and control the majority of things in my life, which is great. I have a high functional skills and I want things to go in a certain way, but sometimes it can be also very stressful and very tiring, and I should trust my feelings and I should trust my emotion better. I should trust my gut better also in analyzing people and matters, and things that I want to do or I don't want to do, things that I need to do or I don't need to do. I should be able to trust myself and doubt myself less. And I want to be able to also, I want to learn, really, I want to learn to listen to my inner voice, the little voice that we have inside us, when it's to judge better situations and people and to make the good choices for me and for my family. I want to trust myself. I'm trying not to use too much water, like I'm trusting myself in the decision that I'm making about the colors without thinking it too much. But I trusted myself in the fact that today I really need a warm palette to warm me up inside and give me the energy that is difficult for me to maybe find outside, just because today we cannot really see the sun, which is totally normal. It is winter after all, and snow is beautiful and very important, and it always brings me an opportunity to kind of reflect on myself, like, you know, have that moment of reflection and intimacy. But I also need energy because I have many things that I want to accomplish today, and I don't want my level of energy being low. So there you go. Here comes art. And in this small practice, we are going to also exercise our fine motor skills, the way that we move the brush on the paper, the way that we control it, and we manage, you know, this media, watercolors. We are reviewing the element of line. This is a one curved line. They gave us a beautiful abstract design. And this design, we can define it organic because it kind of recalls like the biomorphic natural organic shapes that can be found maybe in nature. And nature is always a strong inspiration for me as an artist and also as a person. Let's focus on our breath. In and out, a little deeper. Do a little mental scan of your body. Do you feel comfortable in the position that you're sitting? If not, you have to change the position and sit in a comfortable position. You want to avoid any like pain or stress for your body. I need a little bit of water over here. There you go. And really just focus on what is happening in front of your eyes. And you trust yourself that you're going to be able to stay present to this practice, avoiding distractions. I think I'm going to have a little more intense yellow. I really need a yellow since today I cannot have it outside. Trust yourself in using the colors that capture your attention when you look at the color palette. Don't think too much, but trust the choice that your hand will do. Trust your first choice, even if it's a color that you usually don't use, even if it's something that you didn't expect to use today. Just go for it. Trust yourself, because your mind, your soul is telling you to go and pick that color because you need that color today. I'm gonna create a darker magenta. And I'm on purpose not showing the palette just because I want you to really, I don't want you to see what colors I am using specifically. I just want you to really do you and trust yourself in the choices that you will make with your watercolors. And now I'm going to work on the outside, and I'm gonna trust myself in picking a color that it's a very like light. yellow, which is something that I usually use a warmer and a more saturated type of yellow. I don't know, like a little darker. This looks to me a little kind of neon, but I trust myself that today, since I pick it, it is the color that I need. Although it's not a color that I use very often. Breathe in and breathe out. Then repeat to yourself, I trust myself in facing new situations, in analyzing people and places, in making decisions about my life, about school, about work. I trust myself in being able to listen to others, listen to their opinions and their feedback and their recommendations, mostly when they come from people that know us and love us, and we love them as well. And I trust myself in making a good decision for me, in taking the right step toward reaching the goals that I set for myself. I trust myself in wanting to be the best version of myself every day of my life, at home, in school, at work, with friends, with family. With colleagues, if you're an adult and you already work. I trust myself and my ability to give the best in every situation. I trust myself to acknowledge when I make a mistake, when I have to go back on my steps, when I need to say that I'm sorry, when I need to apologize, when I need to work on something again, when I need to start over. I trust myself in being able to do that. And now I'm going to trust myself with some black outlines with the brush, which is actually not that simple, but I trust myself that I can embrace also the mistakes that might come if I'm not able to retrace the lines that I did it at the beginning. I trust myself and I trust my hands. And even when a little mistakes occur, I trust myself that I can remedy that mistake. can turn into something beautiful. If you are a very young artist or a beginner, maybe if you don't want to use the brush, you can use the markers, but you need to wait that the design is dry. But I encourage you to just go and try with the brush and see what happens, and trust in yourself in this process, regardless the product at the end. I'm gonna switch the camera to say goodbye, and our second practice of 2024 is all done. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I hope that you enjoy this little a short practice and the process as much as I did. And as I say before, I encourage you to really trust yourself, even with the outlines, even if you're a beginner or you are a young child, it doesn't matter if something goes differently than you picture in your mind. Trust yourself in the fact that you will be able to complete the practice, and you will trust your hand, your eyes, and the watercolors also. So I'll see you soon. I see you next week with another beautiful practice that will focus on another positive affirmation. And I wish you the best of the day. And I thank you so much for building this beautiful community with me. Ciao a tutti.